What's the word? Give everybody a chance to tap in, man. It's again part two. Something that I just started thinking about, man. I just said, man, let me go ahead and jump on the stream, build with the brothers and sisters while I got a few minutes to spare, man. So I probably got about 30 minutes on this thing. So it's gonna be one of those quick joints, man. So I'm gonna give y'all a chance to tune on in, tap in with the kid, man. And we gotta discuss something that's very important when it comes to being a black man in the wilderness of North America, associated, or that being associated with anxiety. Travian Peace, what's up? What's happening? What's the word? Frankie Peace, Magic Peace, welcome back. If you was present for part one, we part two today. This part two in regards to the streams for the day. Azor Peace, what's happening? Airview Peace, what's the word? Antoine Peace, what's happening? What's the word? Sick Peace, what's the word? Infinite Charms, Peace Queen, what's happening? TZ for sure. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot more a lot more of that transpiring, man. So that's why, especially if you're pregnant, you should not be getting that jab, man, at all. Lachelle Peace Queen, what's happening? Jeremiah Peace, what's the word? So we about to chop it up in regards to anxiety and black men. A lot of people don't understand the anxiety levels and how high they are amongst black men. So we was talking about mental health, we was talking about depression and things of that nature, but we didn't necessarily build on anxiety. And a lot of people don't understand the anxiety, man, that comes with being a black man in America. We don't know, like as a black man in America, when I step outside, man, I don't like trouble can hit me from all different angles. Like as a black man, I feel like I'm constantly having to be paranoid in order to survive. Like my guards have to always be up because, man, I could be getting hit from so many different angles. Like trouble can hit me from so many different angles that is crazy. I mean, it could be another brother that don't have knowledge of self, that's dealing with self-hatred that try to take me out. It could be a sister that's striving to set me up. It could be these white folks that don't necessarily care for me. It could be these Arabs that don't necessarily care for me. Like we don't know in which direction is trouble gonna come from. Like we never are safe. We are never safe. Evan, peace, what's happening? Yeah, we are never safe, and I know the sisters feel the same way. But a lot of times that is being discussed, or at least we acknowledge that we know that it exists. But a lot of brothers don't acknowledge the fact that they dealing with this type of anxiety, and it's crazy because that anxiety is out here. It's real in the field. Like I said, when I'm driving, man, when I'm driving at night, man, I'm on high alert. I don't trust anybody at that point. Man, I'm talking about dudes getting sprayed up on the highway, like they shoot on the highway out here, man, like you just never know. So my guard is like always up, man. You don't know if it's the cops behind you, and if the cops having a bad day, that could be your last ride. So like you got to think about all of this. We got to think about all of that. True Black Peace, what's happening? Nick, and I 100% agree with that. The Amazing Vampire, you say, can you discuss having negative thoughts of hatred and forgiveness? For sure. I can definitely touch on that. And somebody asked me a question here. Jeremiah, you say, what's today's mathematics? Oh, yeah, we always can break down the mathematics for the day. Today is the 10th, man, so we dealing with knowledge cipher, all being born in knowledge. That's the math for the day. That's the math for the day. And knowledge basically being a foundation. So that's basically taking your foundation, taking the information and applying it to your cipher to strengthen the foundation. So taking the information, taking proper information, applying it to your cipher, which is your inner circle, and utilizing that to strengthen your foundation so the cipher can be your family, your universe. So you take that proper information as a black man and you apply it to your universe, and that will strengthen the foundation of that universe, of that household. Yeah, Infinite Charms, it's crazy, man. I'm always feeling like I'm always feeling like I have to be paranoid. Like I feel like if I'm not paranoid, like if I'm not always watching over my shoulder, somebody can catch me slipping. And y'all see me when I'm streaming in my gym, like I'm always looking outside, man, because that's how we gotta be. Like literally, that's how we gotta be, especially if you are a certain caliber of black man. Like you always gotta be on alert. You always gotta be on alert. Now, with some brothers that then reached a certain status in life and they feel like they are invincible and they feel like they untouchable, so their anxiety may not be so crazy. But for brothers of a certain caliber with a certain piece of information that, you know, ain't afraid to stand on the truth, like we always gotta watch how we move. Because you're gonna have brothers that's hating on you, that's envious of you. You're gonna have these white folks that don't too much care for you because you speaking the truth about them. You're gonna have these other ethnic groups that don't too much care for you because you speaking the truth about them. Like, man, you gotta watch your back, your front, and both your sides, man. Like nobody is to literally be trusted, man. Even when you are a certain caliber black man, even your fam, as we discuss all the time, even your fam starts to hate on you. So you gotta watch them because they jealous of the way that you moving. They jealous of the progress that you making. They jealous of your evolution. They jealous of you changing. So like when you are a black man that strives to always elevate and you putting that type of energy into motion, like everybody around you is gonna hate on that. And man, that is crazy. That makes your anxiety a million times worse. Like that makes the anxiety a million times worse when you are a certain caliber black man, man, because again, you know the type, you know the energy that you coming with, and you know how that's gonna be received, man. So you always gotta be on guard, man, because at the end of the day, we not striving to go out before our time, man, because we got a mission to fulfill. So we out here striving to stay alive. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta be on alert. We gotta be on alert, man. But I feel like a lot of brothers don't acknowledge the anxiety. Like I'm gonna tell you flat out that I deal with anxiety. I'm gonna tell you that flat out. Montel, peace, what's happening? I'm gonna tell you flat out. And I don't feel like that's soft, feminine, whatever the case may be. The anxiety is real. Especially when it's, like I said, especially when it's dark, man. I don't know where the trouble finna hit me from, if it does hit me. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's a sad way that we gotta live, but we gotta live like that in order to survive. What they say, stay dangerous. That's literally how we gotta function and operate. We gotta literally always be thinking of the worst case scenario. When we driving at night, we gotta literally always think that every car behind us is the feds. Literally. When you are a black man, you driving at night, you gotta literally always think that the car behind you is a cop. Like that's how you gotta be driving out here. That's literally how I be driving. When I'm driving at night, man, I'm thinking every car behind me is a cop. Every car. I'm like, man, every car behind me got to potentially be the cops, man. So I don't know. I don't know how this gonna end. I'm not trying to get pulled over at night. Like that's where my mind goes. Like that's the first place my mind goes. When I'm driving at night and I can't see cars, every car is a cop car. Every car. MC, peace, what's happening? Every car is a cop car. That's how I drive. That's how I go about it. I view every car as a cop car until I get right up on it. And that's sad. Yeah, sick. I just got my first vehicle with some tents, and it's semi-gave. Like I literally got pulled over, I think, because of the tents, man. They might be a little too dark, but that's how the car came, man. But I literally got pulled over. I mean, they didn't pull me over, like, and they didn't say anything about the tents, man. But I got pulled over for no reason. Like I was literally at a stop, like I was at a light, and the cops, boom, swooped right behind me, pulled me over. I think it's because of the tents, man. But she ain't want to say that. But she ain't had no reason to pull me over. She asked, was there anybody else in the car? I was like, nah. Then she said, wrong vehicle. So, you know, so something like that. But yeah, these tents, because can't nobody see inside the whip, man. They can't see you. But sometimes that draws the wrong attention. Mr. Unimportant for sure. Because people can't relate to the truth. Can't relate to it. So you got to understand that. So you out here speaking the truth, and you know and understand that people can't relate to the truth. So you know they gonna be envious, they gonna be jealous, they gonna hate, and do all of that good stuff, man. And simply because you just trying to live truthfully, you trying to live righteously. That's enough in and of itself to get you taken out, and that's sad. You striving to be a righteous black man, that's enough to get you assassinated out here. Like that's the world we live in. Like, you literally can't let your guards down, and all you striving to do is be righteous, be healthy, and just stand on the truth and speak the truth. That's it. Yeah, Frankie, for sure. Definitely got to prepare for the worst. What they say, stay ready so you ain't got to get ready. Like, that's literally how we got to live. Oh, yeah, sick for sure. Yeah, which is what I did. You know, I had the info ready. I was still mad that she pulled me over for no reason. Like, and then pulled me over at like the worst location possible. Like, I was all in the way. Like, come on, man, you making me look like a criminal, man. I know I ain't just do nothing. Get up off me. You know, but she was trying to reach her quota, man. MC, man, back in the day, I had subs, all of that, man. So I was beating and all that type of good stuff. So I know I was getting pulled over for that and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? So now I don't have all of that in the vehicle, man. It's like I'll be trying to keep a low profile, but back then, man, I was noticeably loud, and that caused a lot of attention to come my way. And I know I was getting pulled over off the strength of that. I stayed getting pulled over when I first started driving. Stayed getting pulled over, and that's one of the reasons why I got the anxiety that I have. And I stayed getting pulled over. Man, I stayed getting pulled over. Now, some of the stuff was my fault, some of it wasn't. I had to go to driving school. It's crazy. I had to go to driving school. It's crazy, man. They was saying I ran lights that I didn't, and that was back when they had the camera. So it's like if I ran a light, then the way the camera worked, they supposed to send a ticket in the mail. I never received the ticket, but dudes out here saying I ran lights and stuff like that. And then held my license. I had to go to court, get my license back. Had to go to driving school, and I had to do all that. I had to do all that type of stuff. Infinite Charms, man. My parents actually live in Florissant. That's not too far from my actual gym too. But my parents live in Florissant, man. Florissant, as far as safety, like, that's not a bad area. Like, it's not a dangerous area. But the cops in that area are, like, people don't like the Florissant cops. Like, they don't like the cops in that area. But as far as the area being dangerous, like, nah, no. That's one of the better areas. But a lot of the troubles, a lot of the problems are coming that way. A lot of the black people are migrating that way. So a lot of problems are coming that way, but it's not a dangerous area to be in. But my peoples live in that area, man. It's not a dangerous area. Like, it could get a lot worse. It can get a lot worse. So basically, Florissant is the area where, you know, the black people that when they get decent jobs, like, that's one of the areas that black people will go to. When they get decent jobs, they'll go to the Florissant area. And they reside there. But what's happening now is it's becoming a little too crowded. And you're getting the wrong types of black people going to Florissant now. You know, and that's starting to become a problem. But it ain't dangerous, man. It's just the cops in that area can be a little wicked. Oh, Infinite, man, for sure. Yeah, Infinite Divinity. Yeah, it's like being a lumberjack match, man, for sure. For sure, man. It's like we always having to thoroughly examine and vet everybody, man, which people should do that anyway. But being like a righteous black man now, again, righteous black man, like, we striving to be righteous, we striving to do what's right and exact. Like, that in and of itself shouldn't be problematic, but it is. I'm talking about the brothers that's out here striving to be righteous, standing on the truth. The anxiety that we have to deal with being that type of black man. I ain't talking about the folks that's out here doing the dirt, you know what I'm saying, just being wicked and indulging in the ignorance out here. I ain't talking about those brothers. I'm talking about the brothers that stand for something, that's striving to be righteous, striving to be healthy. The anxiety that we have to deal with, just being that. Like, we ain't asking for trouble. We ain't going out here looking for trouble, but yet we receive it anyway. I'm talking about those black men. Like, we face a lot of problems, and we not going out here looking for problems. We not going out here creating problems. But simply because we striving to be righteous and upstanding and a decent individual, we get problems off the strength of that. Even when some of you brothers may deal with some sisters, like, you may be a good brother to the point where everybody's so brainwashed, everybody's so corrupted that they don't even think that a good brother exists, so that when they encounter you, They trying to find flaws and they trying to wait for you to slip up and fail so that they can be like, yep, you just like the rest of them. So it's pressure on you. When you a good dude and then you enter a relationship, the expectations are crazy because everybody waiting for you to slip up. They like, man, it's too good to be true. So it's all pressure on you to be perfect. It's all pressure on you to be perfect. And that's kind of sick in and of itself. So like when you a straight decent dude and you jump into it, you meet a nice young lady and she like, man, she done had bad experiences and she looking at you like, man, no, this can't be real. You can't be this decent of a dude. So just waiting for you to slip up so that she can prove her point. That's pressure, man. That's pressure. So as soon as you do anything that she don't approve, now it's like confirmation. Man, you could have just been having a bad day. That don't mean that you not a good dude. You had one bad day and she like, yep, see, you just like the rest of them. That's the type of pressure that comes with being a righteous, upstanding, good brother. You can't have one bad day. Like when you're in a relationship, you cannot have one bad day because they like you don't exist. So that one bad day then turned into you just like everybody else. Like that's messed up, man. Like that's messed up, but it's a reality. I'm telling y'all, like I said, I've got examples of that, personal examples of that being a reality. To the where you just so much of a decent dude that people trying to intentionally provoke you because they like, nah, you can't be this. You can't be this peaceful. You can't be this centered. You can't be this balanced as a black man. You just cannot be. It doesn't exist. So therefore, I'm going to intentionally provoke you just so I can get that response out of you, just so I can say, okay, see, that's my confirmation. That's the confirmation that I needed. I intentionally provoked you, got the response I was looking for, and now that's my confirmation. Like, that's the type of stuff that we have to deal with. Mr. Unimportant, you should definitely leave that alone. If you come across a young lady that is out here intentionally striving to provoke you, then you need to go ahead and leave that situation. Leave that situation ASAP. If you dealing with a sister and she is delusional to the point where she think there is no such thing as a good black man, ain't no sense to even entertain her. In her mind, like she has got it all made up. There's no such thing as a good black man. So it's like, why even entertain that? Why even entertain that energy? I'm not about to entertain that because I know I'm gonna have a bad day. I know I'm gonna have a bad day. I'm not saying that I'm perfect. I'm not gonna intentionally mistreat you, but I may have a bad day to where it's like, man, my attitude just ain't on point, man. So I'm just like, don't want to be bothered or something like that. And I don't have time for you to hold that over my head when I had that one bad day and you act like I'm just like everybody else. Ain't got time for that. So it's like, I'm not even gonna entertain that energy. Never entertain a young lady that's coming with that type of energy, man. Oh, no, it's too good to be true. I ain't got time for that. I don't have time for that. Do not have time for that because as black men, we gonna slip up. We gonna have bad days. It's inevitable, man. It's inevitable. When you're a black man in the wilderness of North America and you got to deal with America, you're gonna have a bad day. You're gonna have a bad day. Like your attitude is gonna be days mentally where you just ain't there, man. Like mentally, you just don't want to be bothered. And the smallest of things is gonna set you off. It's gonna happen. It happens to everybody. So when somebody's striving to hold you to that standard, acting like you the epitome of perfection, like, man, you gotta go ahead and leave that. You gotta go ahead and step away from that. MC for sure. That's exactly what it's like. And I've been there, done that. You too good of it. And like that's another thing. Like, not only do we got to deal with that pressure, but then the same thing, just what MC just said. When we on a job, when you a black man and you on a job, and black women can attest to this because it applies to them too. But when you blacking on these jobs in corporate America, man, they waiting for you to slip up. They like, man, a black person cannot be this intelligent. A black person cannot be this efficient on this job. It can't be. So they waiting for you to slip up. Waiting for you to slip up. They waiting for you to take an L. They waiting for you to make that mistake. Like nobody makes mistakes. And then when you make that mistake, they act like you made 1,000 mistakes. Whole while the white employees mess up every day. But the moment that black person makes one mistake, commits one error, it's over. You called into the office, you having meetings with everybody like you just committed the greatest mistake known to man. Like, we got to deal with that too. So it's like everywhere we go, like when we striving to be righteous and we striving to be upstanding, everywhere we go, everybody is expecting perfection when you are decent, or at least striving to be decent. They can't believe you exist out here. You a ghost. You an apparition. They like, oh man, I can't believe you exist. And the moment you messed up, you get You get downgraded to just like everybody else. You get downgraded to just like everybody else. Like you came in the gate talking about you perfect. Man, we ain't saying we perfect, but we gonna strive to do what's right and exact to the best of our abilities, man. Oh, Nick, man, yeah, that man. I'm glad you stepped away from that because that's the worst. Intentional arguments, like people striving to go out of their way. They go out of their way. They going out of their way to make you angry, to make you upset. Gotta get away from that. Gotta get away from any type of relationship along those lines. Got to. Yeah, Nick, and sometimes that, honestly, I have operated according to that type of philosophy to a fault. Sometimes you can be too understanding, and that's a problem. Like being black and just having this knowledge of self, it's like I'm more sympathetic when it comes to my sisters, when it comes to my brothers. It's like I'm too understanding to a fault. So it's like, man, sometimes I'll be like, man, you know what I'm saying? Black people in America, we done went through all this trauma, this, that, and the third. So I'm understanding why you may act this way. So therefore, I may deal with some stuff that I shouldn't be dealing with because I'm so understanding. And that sometimes backfires because I'm understanding, but then the other person ain't striving to be as understanding as I am. That ain't gonna work. So sometimes we can be too understanding. And I done definitely been there, done that. Definitely done been there, done that. I have been there, done that, too understanding, like to a fault. Like sometimes that understanding can backfire on you. Like you could be too understanding to a fault. Got time for that? Like if you the only one striving to be understanding, then that's not gonna work. And I don't care how much you think you know and understand. If you the only one striving to understand and the other person ain't or isn't, you know, for the grammar police, if the other person isn't, then we got a problem. It's not gonna work. It's not going to work at all. Leo soul, peace, peace. Yeah, Mr. Unimportant. That's the thing, man. That's the thing. I done been on plenty of these jobs, man. It's like where the white folks striving to find dirt on me. Matter of fact, I'm gonna give y'all a Jew, man. When I got one of my jobs, I think it was the last bank I was at. I can't even remember. But I did the drug test, yo. And you know how they always expect, you know what I'm saying, brothers to fail the drug. Like they looking at somebody like myself like he is not gonna pass the drug test. Man, my piss must have came back too clean. Man, they acted like they lost my result. They lost my urine. So I had to take 2 drug tests. I had to piss twice. They came back, man. I took it one time, and they was like, you know what? Well, we lost the urine, so you got to come back. Man, come on, man. I wasn't born yesterday. I know what that means, man. Listen, I was so clean. They was like, this can't be right. Can't be right. Hey, brother, urine too clean. We gonna tell him we lost it, and he gonna have to come back. They out here talking about they lost the urine, man. I had to take the test twice, man. Come on, stop playing with me, man. Y'all know good and well y'all ain't lose the urine. They was like, hold on, we wasn't expecting this brother to come back clean. We wasn't expecting that. Come on, man. That's what that's all about. But again, we conspiracy theorists and things of that nature. So I had, it was an inconvenience, man. I had to drive up to this place. And mind you, place was far where I had to go. I had to go to this place twice. I had to go to that place twice because they lost my urine. Like, that's on them. Like, they should have gave me the job off the strength. Like, I went up there and did my part. Y'all lost the urine. That's on y'all. That's on y'all. But let me would have started spazzing out, saying what then again, I would have fit the stereotype. Yeah, man, that Mr. Unimportant is exactly what I'm talking about. If I would have got on the phone, telling them about themselves, like, man, y'all the ones that lost it. Y'all irresponsible. That's y'all fault. I did my job. I would have been the bad guy. I would have became the villain at that point. I would have been the one that's looking too deeply into the situation. Just go back up there and do it again. Like, that's how everybody would have been looking at me. It's not that serious. Man, listen, my urine's probably so clean. They was like, this crazy. They probably ain't never seen urine that clean from a black man or something. And again, when I had, and it's another thing too. That's why I say the anxiety be crazy. When I had the last accident that I had, and the cop came, and he told me, he was like, man, it's the first time that I've ever that I've ever had to approach a situation where everybody had everything. Like everybody had their insurance, everybody had the license on them, like everything came back clean. Basically what he was saying was, this is the first time that I pulled over a black person and everything came back right. Or the first time I ever pulled over or been in a situation where it was black people involved and everything came out clean. Because the person that I ran into when it was raining, she was white. So he wasn't surprised about her stuff coming back clean and her having all her insurance, the insurance and license and all that. He wasn't surprised by that. He was surprised by me having the insurance, having the license, everything being up to date, plates good, no records, none of that. Like he was surprised by that. That's what he was saying. He wasn't surprised by the white chick and everything coming back clean. He wasn't surprised by that. He was surprised by our brother driving the car and everything came back clean, everything came back good. He was surprised. And that's the type of world we live in. It's surprising. It's surprising. So they and that's letting you know the programming of the cop. So when a cop, that's letting you know how they program out the gate. So automatically when a cop approaches a black person, he out the gate automatically assuming he not going to have everything. So he automatically approaching the situation like it's about to be a problem. So they already on edge, man. That's how they train. When you pull over a black person, they probably not going to have their insurance. They probably not going to have this, that, and the third. So be ready to be to deal with a problem when you pull over a black person. That's how he was trained. His whole demeanor changed when he figured I had everything, when he found out I had everything, and when he found out I was clean. His whole demeanor changed. Initially, when he approached me, he had an attitude. But once he ran everything and it was clean and I had everything on me, his whole demeanor changed. So he approached the situation with an attitude, like he was ready. That's because that's how they train. That's how they train. That's how they train 100%. He was trained. He was ready. He was like, all right, this black dude then ran into the back of this vehicle. It's a white chick. All right, he ain't about to have something. He about to act like a fool. He about to be dangerous. All right, got to be ready. So he was automatically ready. He was automatically ready. Had a whole attitude. Then when he realized everything was good, everything was clean, whole demeanor changed. They trying to be nice to me and everything. Matter of fact, they started saying the white girl was tripping, acting like she was hurt. Once they found out I had everything and everything was clean, they couldn't believe it. It was almost like I was an alien to them. Like, man, I pulled over a young black man and everything came back cool. It was like I was an alien. They started treating me like I was not from this world. That's crazy. Man, the cop offered to drop me off like at a place where my sister could pick me up to where I didn't have to be on the highway. Like they started straight treating me like I was a celebrity or an alien because everything came back good. Everything was good. Dude offered to drop me off at I think it was like the Burger King parking lot to get me off the highway. But before that had a whole attitude. Whole attitude, man. But once he ran everything and I gave him all the information, he was like, hey, man, you need a ride to the such and such. It was like, that's crazy, man. You was probably ready to shoot me before you knew that I was good. So you was automatically prejudged. You prejudged me. But then when I debunked your belief, your assumption, now you're ready to treat me like a regular civilian. But that's the type of anxiety that we be having to deal with, man. Once the situation happened, ran into the back of the vehicle. For one, the vehicle was stopped on the highway for whatever reason, and it was raining. So that's why I ran to the back of him. But in my mind, the first thing I was thinking about was like, man, the cops finna come over here. I was like, man, I don't know how this is about to go. Hopefully I get some decent cops. Like, that's how we got to be thinking. That's how we got to think. Ray, Jason, peace. JL, Shayna, peace. What's happening? Galactic MC, peace. But yeah, that's how I automatically start thinking. I was like, dang, man, like, all right, I made sure the people that I ran into, I made sure they was good. And then I immediately start thinking about, man, hold on, these cops finna come, man. This might be a situation here. I got everything on me, but that don't really mean much. I know how I look, and I done ran to the back of a white chick car. This might get ugly. So I was like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, I don't know how this is about to go. Like, I don't know how this about to go. So I was already on edge, man. So I'm like, man, I hope this dude don't come up here tripping, you know? And I was ready to deal with it. I was ready to deal with it, man. It's just, it's too much, man. Like, it's too much, man. Just being black, period, you know? Like I said, you know, we sympathetic to our queens that deal with the anxiety, man. But a lot of times, man, when brothers are dealing with situations like anxiety, depression, all that type of stuff, it gets swept under the rug. It's almost viewed as feminine, you know, for a man to be talking about anxiety and things of that nature. Like, it's almost viewed as something that's soft. But I'm telling you, whether you want to admit it or not, as a black man, I guarantee you that you're dealing with anxiety. When you are a black man, when you are striving to be righteous and stand on the truth, stand on your square, you deal with anxiety, whether you know it or not. You deal with anxiety. You deal with it. Like, there's no escaping it. You deal with anxiety in the wilderness of North America. You deal with it. Whether you think you know how to talk to cops or not, you deal with anxiety. You deal with it, man. You deal with it. It's all type of stigmas attached to black men. Oh, y'all don't go to the doctor. Why do y'all think we don't go to the doctor? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all stigmas attached to black men. Why do y'all think we don't go to the doctor? Why do y'all think we the main ones that don't trust the doctor? Why? Like, you know what I'm saying? They always, I'm telling you, oh man, black men, y'all know y'all don't like to go to the doctor. Why do y'all think that's the case? Please answer that. I done had plenty of sisters tell me, man, y'all, you know, y'all black men, y'all don't like to go to doctors. And I'm looking at them, I'm like, why? Why do you think that? Why do you think us brothers do not trust these doctors? Why do y'all think that? Y'all think we just, it's a lot of brothers that's neglecting their health, that don't care about their health, just like it's a lot of sisters that don't care to be healthy. But y'all think we just don't want to know if we healthy or not? No. It's we didn't went to these doctors, we didn't trusted them long before, and that didn't end well for us. It didn't end well for us. It didn't end well for us. I told y'all my history. I put my trust in nurses and doctors back in the day, and that did not end well for me. It didn't end well for me at all. So y'all think we just, for no reason, woke up one day and decided to just no longer trust doctors and just stop going. Y'all think that's for no reason. Y'all think that we just woke up with that mentality. No, we didn't. No, we didn't. A lot of us have been lied to. Man, I'm telling you, a lot of us have been misdiagnosed. Like, again, you look at the Tuskegee experiment. It's black men, man, predominantly. You know what I'm saying? So this system is to not be trusted. It's a reason why we don't trust this system, man. This system, like when you look at the hierarchy of it, like the system has mistreated us like the most. Like we were the ones, like listen, we were the ones that was getting killed in front of the family. Like we were the ones getting killed. Like that was us, that was black men. We were the ones getting killed in front of the family. Like they was out to kill us, the black men. They didn't want to see the rise of us. Like the black Messiah was the black man. They didn't want to see the rise of us. So they was out to prevent us from elevating black men. Like they do not want to see us rise. They do not want to see us manifest our power. Like they don't want to see it. So they will do anything in their power to suppress it. So that's why we don't trust that's why we don't trust these doctors. That's why we don't trust these schools. That's why we don't trust everything. That's why we don't trust the system. That's why we don't trust these judges. Like, that's why we don't trust all of this. That's why we don't trust it. We ain't just wake up one night and say, man, forget, I don't fool with the doctor. I don't fool with it. Come on, man. It's a reason behind it. Oh, sick, and that's crazy. That's crazy. Darvin, man, I'm telling you, I got an example. Like I got a personal example of that. Like I said, man, my uncle died of cancer, man. I forgot what cancer it was. Prostate cancer, colon. It was it was cancer. But he was going to the doctor. He basically was letting the doctor know, like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Something ain't right. I know my body. And he was fairly healthy, like physically. You know what I'm saying? He to get up 5 o'clock every morning, go walk, do all that type of stuff, man. Now his eating wasn't the best, but like physically, you know what I'm saying? He was, something is off. So he was going to the doctor, like, man, hey man, something ain't right. You know what I'm saying? Back hurting, woo, woo, losing a little bit of weight. Like, this ain't making any sense. They was telling this dude he had, like, what, back spasms. So they giving him muscle relaxers. Next thing you know, man, he just lost a lot of weight that he couldn't explain. That unexplained weight loss. And next thing you know, he at the worst stage of cancer. So y'all was misdiagnosed. Y'all giving him muscle relaxers. Whole while he got cancer. Y'all knew that he had the cancer, man. Or y'all could have did more tests to look further into it, but y'all didn't. Oh, y'all, your back just hurting. Here, take this muscle relaxer. Whole while my man's had cancer. And by the time they told him, it was already too late in the game for him. So it's like, dude, that's why we don't trust them. Like, that's why. Sick, you say, why do we get so much praise as boys and so much hate as men in our community? That's a very good question. We're going to ask that question again. Why do we get so much praise as boys and so much hate as men in our community? That is a good question. Because we definitely get praise as boys, because for the most part, you know what I'm saying, when you a young boy, you know, you innocent, you pure as a young boy. Now, when you become a man, y'all already know the stigma that's attached with being a man. Everybody conditioned to see a man in a certain type of light. When you a boy, you not that man yet. You just an innocent young boy. So once you transition into manhood, now all of those stereotypes and those stigmas, they hit you now because now you a man. So you automatically fit the description. All these black men ain't this, that, and the third. So now when you reach manhood, now you are included in that box, unfortunately. But when you are a young boy, you not in that box because you are not a man. So as soon as you hit manhood, it's like now you are in the box now, automatically. Automatically, just simply because you are a man now. But when you a young boy, like you innocent, you pure, things of this nature. So ain't nobody gonna really attack the young boy. They ain't gonna do that. They gonna be like, oh, it ain't his fault, this, that, and the third. Now, soon as they become a man, all of that logic goes out the window. I mean, soon as he becomes a man, like it's a wrap. You viewed in the same light as all these other men out here that they, you know, are trash and no good, and this, that, and the third. Darwin for sure. Unexplained weight loss. And the crazy thing about it, like, man, I'm telling y'all, we know when something ain't right. Like, you the best knower of oneself, man. When something ain't right, you know. Like, if my man's just had back spasms, like, as a man, if I know that I just got back, like, if I know that my back just messed up a little bit, I'm not about to go run to the doctor. If I'm going to the doctor, that means I feel like it's something severely wrong with me. Back spasms ain't nothing that I feel like it's severe enough to where I'm like, yo, it's a problem. Like, man, back spasm, man, I done played sports. So if I got a back spasm, like, man, I can deal with that. I'm not about to be like in high alert mode. Like, man, I got to go to the doctor, man. My back it's a back spasm. If I get a back spasm, man, I know what that is. I know what that's about. Yeah, it's unpleasant, but I know what that's about. That's not a red flag to me. If I go to the doctor, man, it's because I feel like something is severely wrong. So when you just tell me it's back spasms, that's a problem because I know myself. So when I go to the doctor, I'm like, nah, fam, it's got to be way deeper than back spasms because that's the reason why I'm here, because I know something is severely wrong. Back spasms ain't that big to me. Like, as a man, we gonna take the back problems. We'll take a little back spasm, man. We're not about to go run to the doctor for a little back spasm. So for the fact that they just told that man that was all that's wrong with him and whole while it's cancer, like, come on, man. Like, we ain't finna, as men, we're not about to just go to the doctor because the back hurting a little bit. Like, nah, man, we gonna go to that because this back is hurting. It's hurting and it shouldn't be hurting, and it's hurting for too long. So there can't be just back spasm. It's something, because I didn't do anything to cause this. So we know when something is out of whack, man. But they ain't taking it seriously. Like, didn't take it seriously at all. Like I said, if I go to the doctor, that's serious. Because if it's some small ailment, something minor, I'm going to just treat it at the crib. I'm going to rest. You know what I'm saying? If it's minor, like, all right, man, I tweaked my back, I'm not about to go run to the doctor. Like, all right, man, I tweaked my back. Like, I already know how that visit is going to go. But if I feel like it's something abnormal going on, I'm like, hey, man, like, my back is bothering me, but it really shouldn't be bothering me. I need to know what's happening, and it's been bothering me for way too long. I need some answers here. And when you tell me back spasms, I'm like, nah, I don't know if I agree with that. But when you don't agree with the doctor, then you liable to be, you know what I'm saying? They liable to tell you about yourself. I'm the doctor and you are the patient, and this, that, and the third. But I'm like, nah, I'm my body. I know my body. You know what I'm saying? I know it's something deeper. Real humble, man. That's what I'm talking about. I love to hear stories like that. Got plenty of stories where that came from, man. Doctors telling people that they got 6 months and they living 6 years after the fact. You know what I'm saying? Little situations like that, man, where they killing the hope, they suppressing the hope. Like that's one of the worst things you can do. One of the worst things you can do, man, is destroy the hope. Destroy the hope out here, man. Like, dang, man, you out the gate. Out the gate, the hope is destroyed. Like, that's pathetic, man. Any and everything can be cured, man. Trust me. Always supply hope, man. Always supply hope. Never kill the hope right out the gate, right out the bat. Right off the bat. Justin, man, I'm telling you, man, that's exactly why I live the way that I live. That's exactly why I went vegan. That's exactly why I work out the way that I work out. That's exactly why I try to, you know what I'm saying, think a certain type of way. That's exactly why I be trying to analyze my family history. Like, I try to do all of this on my own because at the end of the day, man, I done been misled by too many people. I done been led, and Johnny Peace, what's happening? I done been led astray by too many so-called professionals and experts. When I trusted them, I'm like, man, like I got this ailment, I got that ailment. You know what I'm saying? What can I do for this? And they not giving me proper instructions. They not giving me any type of instructions. They telling me that ain't nothing wrong with me. You know what I'm saying? I had asthma, bronchitis and stuff like that, and I supposedly grew out of it. But I was still experiencing some of the same symptoms. And I was going back to this. I'm like, hey, man, y'all told me I grew out of it, but I'm still experiencing the shortness of breath and things of that nature. What's up? Man, they didn't give me anything for that. They basically told me that I was basically tripping. I didn't get any, they didn't even give me no medication at the time where I would have been willing to take the medication. Whole while I didn't understand that it was linked to dairy consumption and things like that. So as soon as I cut the dairy out, like all of those symptoms like left. But man, I was experiencing those same symptoms. I'm like, man, I'm still experiencing the shortness of breath, man. I'm still having troubles breathing. If the room is of a certain temperature, man, I can't function properly in that room. And when I'm dealing with some water and they get near my chest, like I feel like I'm about to die and all that type of stuff, and I'm letting them know everything. And they just like, they ain't give me nothing for it. They ain't give me no good advice. They ain't give me no suggestions, nothing. They like, well, you grew out of it, so it's not that. That's basically what they was telling me. So you grew out of that, you no longer have this, so it ain't that. So we don't know what to tell you. So I was like, all right, man. So I had to do some thorough investigating on my own. Come to find out, all of that is linked to dairy consumption and eggs. So when I'm cutting the eggs out and the dairy consumption, then again, that's done. That kills those symptoms. But they didn't know that. They didn't know that. Like, they didn't know that at all. So I cut the dairy out and I'm good. I ain't had those problems since then. Wish somebody would have been knowledgeable enough to tell me that, because here I'm thinking, man, I'm panicking. You know, if you've had asthma or if you have asthma, you know that that's a whole different level in regards to just anxiety and panic attacks and stuff like that. When you dealing with asthma, when you dealing with a respiratory condition, like, man, that sets you off. Like when that shortness of breath, all that, man, you start panicking. Man, you start panicking. So like, man, I don't play about that, man. So when I experienced that, when I was experiencing those symptoms, I'm like, yo, like, hold on, yo, I ain't breathing properly, man. I don't appreciate that. I need to know what's happening. So if you deal with asthma or have ever dealt with asthma, you know what I'm talking about. That stuff ain't pleasant. That's frightening. You know what I'm saying? It's frightening. Literally, like when you start having troubles breathing, it's frightening because you think like, all right, man, this might be it. I might be having some type of attack. So that's how you start literally viewing the situation. That's how you start viewing the situation. You're like, all right, man, this might be it. So asthma, man, asthma is no joke. Like bronchitis, asthma, all that type of stuff, man, is no joke whatsoever. And if you are suffering from any of that, I recommend you cut dairy out immediately. You should not be consuming any form of dairy, man. Do yourself a favor. Cut the dairy out immediately. If you're suffering from asthma, bronchitis, any type of respiratory condition, please eliminate the dairy, man. Do yourself a favor. Oh, Darvin, for sure. Yeah, and of course I've done a lot of fasting as well, so that helped my condition and all of that too. But yeah, they literally told me I grew out of my asthma, man. They literally, and I had asthma, but like I had it bad. Like I used to keep the house up at night. Like y'all probably would look at me now and wouldn't even know that I had these issues. But man, I used to keep the house up at night wheezing. I was hooked up to whatever. I forgot the name of the machine, but I used to be hooked up to the machine to help with the breathing. Man, I had the asthma bad, man. Had it bad. Like I was one of those. I was wheezing and did all of that type of good stuff. Man, I had asthma bad. Then next thing you know, they told me I grew out of it. No longer need inhalers and stuff like that. Man, they was setting me up for failure, man. But luckily, I just changed, you know what I'm saying, the way that I was eating and things of that nature. Yeah, the nebulizer, yeah, that's it. I was hooked up to that joint and all that, man. But luckily, I changed the way that I was eating and all that without somebody having to tell me to do that. So luckily enough, I did that, and that changed the game for me. That changed the game for me. But man, they told me, like, hey, man, you grew out of it. And everybody to this day, like, he grew out of it. Leo Velli, peace. So, man, that's some stuff I was dealing with, man. That's why my trust, I have big time trust issues with the medical industry, man, just simply because I've been led astray so many times, man. Trust issues are just, like, big. Like, I do not trust them at all. And I feel like it's warranted. Like, I feel like they've earned that distrust because I put my trust in them and it didn't work out well for me, man. They had told me I grew out of it. They approved me for physicals where I probably shouldn't have been approved for and things like that. All of that good stuff, man. So everywhere we look, man, there's black men and black women, man. Everywhere we look, we got to be dealing with some nonsense, man. Everywhere we look. And that's why I say, your home, like, that should be peace, man. So if you in a relationship, man, and you ain't got peace at the crib, like, man, you got to get up out of the game, man, because as a black man, that's the last thing you need to be coming home to is problems, negativity, toxicity, because the world is already treating you bad enough. Like, you already fighting hard enough just being out here in the world. So the last thing you need to come home to, man, is negativity, chaos, destruct. Like, that's the last thing, because it's not going to end well, because you're going to eventually snap. You're going to eventually snap. Like, it's only so much that we can deal with and tolerate. So when we going out here dealing with the wickedness that's out here on a consistent basis, and then we got to come home and deal with wickedness, it's only a matter of time, man. It's only a matter of time before you snap on the wrong people. It's only a matter of time, man. So when, like, your home, that should be a place of peace. Like, all that negativity and chaos, man, that should leave that outside the home. That should be a place of peace. When you go home, man, you should be at peace. If you're not at peace when you going home as a black man, man, it's time for you to reevaluate. It's time for you to reevaluate everything. It's time for you to reevaluate the whole relationship. If you're not going home to peace, that is going to be a big problem. You're going to end up self-destructing, and during that process, you may end up taking other people along with you. So that's not a good situation to be in, man. It's not a good situation to be in, man. So if you're not with anybody that is applying you or like just helping you activate your peace and things like that, you got to go. You got to roll. You got to roll, because I already know, man, we dealing with too much on the outside. We dealing with too much on the outside, man. So if you got to deal with that on the inside, and if you got to deal with that at the crib, like, that's a problem. You got to go. You got to abandon that. You got to leave. Got to leave. Got to disconnect. Got to disconnect. You got to disconnect ASAP, man, because that's not going to end well, man. It's not going to end well at all. Home should be peace. Home should be for peace. When you walk through that door, peace. That's how it needs to be. Like, that's how it needs to be, man, because all the stuff that we got to deal with, man, we don't know if we're going to make it. Like, every time we leave, we don't know whether or not we're going to make it home. So when we do make it home, man, it's like relief. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't know. Honestly, man, as a black man, when you leave, you really not sure if you're going to make it home. And this ain't got nothing to do with just being pessimistic or being negative. Like, it's a reality. Like, man, if I got to go drive somewhere, like, I don't know how this may end for me. Like, at any given moment, a cop can be having a bad day, I can get pulled over. And things of that nature. So, like, every time we leave, like, we don't know. We don't know how this day finna turn out for us. We don't know. So when we make it home, like, that's relief for us, man. We actually proud to have made it home. Like, people don't understand, man. Black men, like, we be proud to make it to the, like, man, when we make it to the crib, we like, man, thank you, I made it. Like, I'm here. Like, I went through this whole day and ain't nothing bad happened to, like, I'm here. I made it home, man. So the last thing we want to deal with is nonsense. And I'm sure my queens can attest to that too. Last thing, if you been gone all day and been dealing with the wicked world, last thing you want to come on to is just nonsense. So it's like, man, we done dealt with the world, man, and we done made it home safely. Man, that's an accomplishment. It's sad, but that's an accomplishment. For you to make it home safely in today's time as a black man and a black woman is an accomplishment. It's an accomplishment. Man, I made it back home, man. I ain't get pulled over, man. Ain't nobody white talk to me crazy. My own folks ain't talk to me crazy. I ain't almost have a situation. Man, I made it home safely. Made it home safely. So it should be nothing but peace, man. As soon as you walk through the doors, it should be nothing but peace. And a lot of times it's not that, man. A lot of times, brothers, sisters, they going home and it's all chaos, it's all negativity, it's all toxicity, it's just all nonsense. Like, man, that's not good. That's not good. That's not good, man. When you seen that your man's been out all day working, like, do not bring unnecessary drama his way. Please don't, because he probably already had to deal with a lot of unnecessary drama from other people, from the outside world, like from soon as he left the home, like he probably started dealing with the nonsense immediately. So don't bring the unnecessary drama his way. Please don't. Like, if it's not a big deal, please don't bring it to him right after he gets home from a long day of dealing with the public. Like, I'm giving y'all some jewels. I'm giving y'all some information, man, some tips. Just like when it's that time of the month for the sisters. And, you know what I'm saying, dudes got to be on their best behavior. Like, come on. Like, come on now. Like, when we done dealt with all of what we got to deal with to earn a living, like, please don't bring the unnecessary drama my way. Like, I do not want to deal with it. I just really don't. I've been dealing with enough just by being black in America. So when I'm walking through the door, it's peace, man. Please. Just like, sometimes it's all we ask. It's all we ask for, man. Sometimes brothers just really want peace. Like, that's it. That's literally it, man. And sometimes that's hard to ask for, man. Like, sometimes we just don't want to sometimes we just don't want to deal with the nonsense. Like, is that hard? Is that hard for y'all to, like, come on. Is that too much to ask for? And drawing for sure, man. Like, and that I'm giving my sister some game, because literally, man, that's all a lot of us strive for. And again, when I say all of us, I'm not talking about, because you already have, they already be ready to bash dudes. Well, these dudes, I'm talking about the righteous brothers, man. The brothers that's out here doing what's right and exact. We trying to earn an honest living. We not out here doing anything negative and destructive. Like, we just going out here trying to fight the world because we trying to earn an honest living. We trying to liberate ourselves and our families. Like, that's what we trying to do. Like, we not asking for drama, man. We don't want the drama. We don't want the drama. Like, we don't want to fight. We don't want to argue. Man, we might just want to go to sleep. We might just want to eat something healthy, go to sleep, and chill out. Watch the game or something, like something simple, man. Watch a debate. Watch a documentary, something. We not trying to be involved with drama. We not trying to argue. We not trying to debate. We not trying to fight. We not trying to explain ourselves as to why we did something that we didn't even intend to do. We wasn't trying to cause no harm. Like, sometimes, man, just let us chill. Mike, peace. Appreciate that donation. Sherry, peace. What's happening, Sherry? Peace. And Johnny, man, I'm telling y'all, man, we gotta deal with way too much, man. They trying to emasculate us, so we gotta deal with that. So if you too manly out here, that's a problem, because you get labeled toxic. It's called toxic masculinity. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So when you stand up and you a little too manly, everybody assuming you toxic just off of the strength of that. Like, man, we can't win out here sometimes. It's almost like lose-lose. Sometimes that's how we be feeling, man. And I'm just keeping it honest. Like, my sisters, I advise y'all to listen to what I'm saying, because I talk to a lot of brothers, man. I chop it up with a lot of brothers. So everything that I'm saying is like how brothers are feeling. And I feel like that's one of the things that we need to do in order to repair our, you know what I'm saying, to repair a relationship between black men and black women. We need to listen to each other's feelings. Like, we need to hear each other out. So when it's a black man speaking on behalf of other black men, like, instead of coming out trying to neutralize that, talking about the dudes you had bad experiences with, don't do that, man. Just listen. Just like if it's somebody that's speaking on behalf of black women, man, and I feel like I'm gonna listen. I'm like, all right, man, all right, it's women that feel like this, it's women that feel like that. I'm listening, taking notes, because we got to do something, man. We got to repair. We got to mend this relationship. But we can't mend it. We can't repair anything. We're not listening. We're not listening to one another. Torenzo, peace. The Zone, peace, what's happening? So it's like, man, we got to listen. When sisters talking to me, when they venting, when they letting me know they probably, like, I'm listening. I ain't judging nobody, I'm listening. I'm like, dang, man, that's unfortunate that y'all feel this way. And I'm not about to be like, well, I ain't one of them type of dudes. Like, that's not going to do too much of anything. When a sister is out here venting to you and she let you know all the type of dudes that she done dealt with, you coming out saying that you ain't that type of dude is doing absolutely nothing, because all the dudes that did her dirty probably said the same thing. So it's like, it ain't even no need to even say that. I'm sorry that they treat you like that, but I ain't like that. Don't even get in defense mode. If the shoe if the shoe doesn't fit, like, don't be offended by it. If you not describing me, then I'm not offended by it. Like, I'm sorry that you feel that way. I'm sorry that you feel like that describes all black men. All I can do is continue to live my life and show and prove to you that that's not the case. But I'm not out here to prove that point to you verbally, because you really not going to be trying to listen to what it is I have to say, because you done had these type of experiences. So I'm going to just go ahead and let you entertain that, let you entertain that thought, that perspective, and I'm going to live my life. And if me living my life encourages you to shift the paradigm and shift that perspective, then cool. If not, so be it. Sometimes you just got to let people have that perspective, man. Sometimes you just got to let people live. That's what you got to do sometimes. Oh, Sherry, for sure. And that's my line of thinking. No such thing as toxic masculinity, man. You know, no such thing at all. Like, if we gonna label toxic masculinity, then we got to deal with toxicity in regards to everything else too. We got to deal with toxic femininity. We got to deal with toxic homosexuality. We got to deal with the toxicity on the transgender end. Like, everybody has their level of toxicity. It ain't just men. You know what I'm saying? So if we gonna do that and just label masculinity as something that's toxic, when somebody stands up and say that I'm a black man and I'm a strong black, this, that, and the third, like, we gotta label everybody else like that. We gotta label everybody else like that. And we not doing that. Sherry, you say, is it better to be around healthy women? Oh yeah, most definitely. And vice versa. It's better for the women to be around healthy black men. So it's all like, definitely. Like, that's definitely. That's 100% better. 100% better, man. That's 100% better when you are around a healthy woman, when you are around a healthy man. Like, it is just better. It's better, especially when that's something that you are, like, striving to be and do. Like, when you striving to be healthy, and the person that you with, they may not be there, but they striving for it as well. Like, you know what I'm saying? Y'all on the same page, man. That's always a good deal. It's always a great deal. So that's why, like, if you in a situation and, like, you with somebody and they unhealthy and they toxic, man, you might have to just leave. You might have to just leave that person, man, especially when you striving to be of a certain caliber. Magic, oh no, for sure, man. We know and understand that, because like I said, some people, we already know the science, but some people are wicked by nature. So at the end of the day, it is what it is in regards to that. You know, so that's an actual fact. You know, that's the actual fact. Some people are just wicked, and a lot of times that's just what it is. So we be trying to come up with excuses for people and things like that. Like, I couldn't believe that, man. Some people just wicked. Like, some people just wicked. Some people are just that way. Some people are just evil. Some people are just wicked. Like, that's just who they are. But is for sure, as you should be. You should always be striving to be healthy. Should always be striving to be healthy, man. But, you know, at the end of the day, some people not on that type of frequency, not on that type of vibe. They'll rather indulge in things that bring them destruction and disease and sickness and all of that type of stuff, man. I'm not on that type of vibe. Never will be on that type of vibe. So if you on that type of vibe, we automatically can't connect, man, because we on different frequencies and things like that, man. We on different frequencies, man. So there is no connecting there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm tuned into this radio station, you tuned into another one, and we trying to come to an understanding in regards to what's being played. We ain't gonna never come to an understanding because I'm on a totally different station than you are. Two totally different frequencies. So how we gonna ever come to an understanding? Go Sean, you say what you think of the government already predicting our community wealth to be at 0 by 2053. Fam, I say we speak prosperity and abundance, we control our energy. The reason why they speaking that is because they always planning ahead. So but the reason why they speaking that is because they pretty much letting you know what's gonna go down if we live according to their script. So they pretty much just letting you know what the plan is. Like, that's what they doing. They letting you know what the plan is, man. So we can easily shift that narrative if enough of us come together to, you know, in order to shift it, with intentions to shift it. So we can easily shift that. But they just letting us know what the plans are. They letting us know what the plans are. Because at the end of the day, that's not too far-fetched, because look at how we spend our money anyway. You know what I'm saying? So they pretty much point out the obvious. Like, black people, like, when we get money, who do we spend it with? You know what I'm saying? Who do we spend it with? We don't spend it with ourselves first. That money leaves our hands the moment we get it. Like, instantly. We got things on auto pay. You know what I'm saying? So as soon as we get paid, the money is gone. It's going to the wrong hands. So they pretty much just pointing out the obvious, man. We got to shift our reality. We got to start operating better. We got to start living differently. You know what I'm saying? So we can control the narrative. But in order to control the narrative, man, we just got to start living differently. Or else that will be right and exact. The zone, what you say, it's better to have a certainty about who you are and what you want and not following the crowd. A leader leads and puts a good example on others to do the things that might influence others, not shun them. For sure, 100%. And I'm going to focus on the first part of what you said. It's better to have a certainty about who you are. Knowledge of self is what we call it. You know, it's better to have that knowledge of self and what you want. We always distance ourselves from the crowd. It's what they call groupthink. See, and that's another way, going back to corporate America. That's another way that they get us as well. That's how they steal our ideas and things along those lines. Due to knowledge to groupthink. You know, that's how they do it. They will allow, let's say it's 20 people up top. They may allow 2 or 3 black people to be a part of this group. But guess what? Majority rules. So yeah, you a part of this group. You feel like you done made it. Whole while your voice is never being heard. And the only time your voice is being heard is when they steal your idea. And then instead of giving you credit for the idea, they give credit to the group. They say the group came up with this idea. So they create this whole groupthink mentality to steal more of our ideas and stuff like that. So they're going to allow several black people in the room just so they can steal their ideas and be like, it's a group thing. It's groupthink. The group came up with this. The group brainstormed this. Nah, you came up with it and you presented it to the group. You know, so that's why a lot of times, man, I don't deal with groups. I don't deal with these crowds. Like, I don't deal with it. Don't deal with it. You know, so that's essentially, man, I don't deal with too many groups. I don't deal with too many crowds. I never function like that. You know, and I understand that by nature, some people, man, they just designed to be followers, man. Some people are. But I think I'm right to assume that most people that's coming to this particular channel, we not too fond of being followers. We're not too fond of it. Joe Budden said, why try to fit in when I'm a standout? Or why try to fit in when you a standout? right and exact. Why am I striving to fit in when I'm a standout? Why would I strive to follow a trend when I can set trends? Why? Give me a reason. Like, why do I need to follow a trend when I can set my own? Young Grump, man, yeah, man, for sure. I've been growing, like I said, been growing my hair for a long time, man. Long time. But it serves no purpose for me to be trying to fit in the crowds, man. Like, that's the last thing on my agenda, is to try to fit in and be accepted. I don't care at all what the crowd is doing. Like, I'm not too big on the mainstream. Man, like I said, I'm one of the ones, man, people been talking about Kanye West and Drake album for the longest. I have listened to neither one. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's how much, like, I don't even care. Like, that's how true I am to not striving to, like, fit in and follow trends. If I don't fool with people, if I don't fool with something, I don't care if everybody talking about it. Like, if it's something that I potentially fool with, then I'm gonna probably listen to it, watch it, whatever the case may be. But if it's something that's not my speed, I'm never gonna entertain. I'm done doing that. I'm done doing that. I'm done. Like, hey, man, everybody, man, you heard that? I'm like, nope, I haven't listened to it, man, because I don't really too much care about the artist. Like, so why would I listen to it? And you know what I'm saying? Like, if I don't fool with them, why would I listen? Why would I waste my time? Like, I'd rather do something better with my time. So I'm one of them ones. Like, I stand on that. Like, I'm not about to go out of my way to do something just because everybody else is doing it. I'm not going to go out of my way to listen to something because everybody else is listening to it. I'm not going to go out of my way to watch something because everybody else is watching it. No. Like, I'm like the epitome of that type of individual. Oh man, everybody talking about this. All right, well, that's nice. If it don't have anything to do with anything that I fool with, if it's not my type of vibe or speed, I'm probably never going to listen to it, never going to watch it. If it's something that's my speed, then I'm probably watching and listen to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it's somebody that I fool with, like when Nas dropped, everybody's talking about Nas, I fool with Nas, so I'm listening to it. Not because everybody listening to it, but because I fool with Nas. Oh, see, we got the slow creep going on, man. I be watching these cars thoroughly when they come in here, man. Ain't nobody gonna ever catch me slipping. And Johnny, for sure, man, we ain't never really discussing what's important. And like, I used to get accused of this on Facebook all the time. People was like, "Oh, you too serious," because I was pretty much always addressing what was going on. You know, so I was always addressing what was going on. I was always addressing what these politicians was out here lying about. You know, I was always addressing the truth. And so when I was doing that, oh, you too serious, this, that, and the third. So I always got accused of being too serious because I was always addressing the realities out here that people were afraid to discuss and deal with and face. So I always got accused of being too serious. Oh, your post always this, that, and the third. I was like, all right, cool. Percy, you say, oh, the Michael K. Williams passing. That's one of those situations, man. Like, I haven't looked at it thoroughly enough to feel like it's some type of scheme and plot behind it. Just doing the knowledge to his history, like he's been struggling, like he always was struggling with addictions and things like that. So he talked about it thoroughly. So I don't feel like it's far-fetched to believe that what they said actually happened to him actually happened. But I wouldn't eliminate or rule out foul play because we dealing with Hollywood, we dealing with things like that. So it definitely could be something along those lines. So I never rule it out. A lot of times people out the gate, they rule out everything. Oh man, no, that's you a conspiracy theorist. So I wouldn't rule it out. So right now, I'm just kind of on the fence. Like it could be true. He could have literally OD'd on the drugs. Like that literally could be a possibility. But it could also be a possibility that it was some type of ritual going on. It could be either or, man. It's up in there, man. You can never I don't put anything past. I don't put anything past like Hollywood main. Like I don't put anything past them. I don't put anything past them. I'm gonna just be honest. So it may sound far-fetched. It may sound like a conspiracy theory or I'm thinking too deeply about it. I'm just saying I feel like it's all a possibility. It's all a possibility. That's all I'm saying. Because at the end of the day, if I wasn't there to actually see what happened, then I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what really happened. Oh yeah, Jeremy, for sure, man. People definitely don't want to live in reality. They rather live in fantasy land. They rather stay in a dream-like state. They rather stay in that trance. You know what I'm saying? That trance-like state. They'd rather stay in there. We hypnotized. We under spells and things of that nature. We don't even realize it, man. We don't even realize it, man. That's what they mean by wake up. See, people don't even understand what wake up actually means. That's what is meant by that. Because we in a trance-like state. We hypnotized. We unconscious, man. We are not listen. We are literally not conscious. Most of us. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's meant by wake up, snap out of it is more accurate. We gotta snap out of it, man. We zombies, man. Literally, we zombies. Gotta snap out of it. Rislat TV, peace, what's happening? So we gotta snap out of it, man. Gotta snap out of it, man. You gotta snap out of that state, man. That slumber, man. You gotta snap out of that. Got to snap out. Boom. That's what you got to do. And when you snap out of it, man, you start seeing everything for what it is and not what you thought it was and what you think it should be, like, then that's when everything starts clicking. That's when everything starts to make sense. Like, oh, okay, this is the reality. This is what such and such was talking about. This is what they meant. Like, that's when everything starts to really make sense, man. Common had an album said, one day it all makes sense. Like, that's what he meant. You know what I'm saying? One day it all makes sense, but you got to snap out of that state. You got to become aware. Like, you got to become conscious. You know? That's what is meant by that.